Oh my gosh, we're back. Is this what the people wanted?
This is.
Everyone on the
Give
other
the
side is
people
like,
what they
oh
wanted."
no, they're back.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. My name is Gabriel Conte, and this is the Prompt Us podcast. We hope to learn with you guys and grow with you guys today. I'm here joined with my co-host, Zach and Chad. Dude,
Oh, yeah.
honestly, I kind of, that was my first time coming back doing that after a break, I flipping crushed it.
Still got
I just felt a little nervous because we didn't choose the prompt.
Oh my gosh. I thought we were just going with the top one.
Oh, I mean.
Okay.
We're doing it live on air.
We're doing it live on air. So if you guys didn't know already, we have to bulk record because of doing Zach Skyping in and Chad driving across the state.
Zach.
So we can, so we can all just do it right, you know?
Freaking Zach.
Okay, which one?
Why are you making me choose?
Because, you know what's good? Decision making.
Yes.
The decision making one. I'm calling it right now. That's how you make decisions, guys. Okay,
Yeah,
okay. No. Just read the paraphrase prompt.
The paraphrase prompt
Wait.
is...
Real quick.
What?
Before Chad reads the prompt,
What?
I just want to let you know that you can submit prompts over at promptuspodcast.com. You can submit prompts over at promptuspodcast.com. You can leave audio prompts. We're still waiting for them. I don't know if we got any this round through, but if you've got any audio prompts, send them through. We'll play them here on the podcast.
So live.
Okay, now Chad can do his thing.
Live update on that issue.
Yeah, so we actually did get some really good audio prompts, and some of them were questions that we've actually already answered. So if you are tuned in, which you are obviously because you're listening, we may have already talked about the topic you care about. So go back. So
subscribe and listen to the whole library and give us a 5-star rating.
5-star rating on iTunes or Apple Podcasts.
How many times do we have to tell you?
But there were a handful, and I mean an actual handful of people saying, listen to my audio prompt, and there was no audio prompt attached. So I don't know if they didn't save it whenever they submitted it. I'm not sure what happened.
Or if our tech guy really messed up.
Yeah, that guy, we need to let him go.
Yeah, that's probably more likely. I definitely messed up. That's so weird.
Yep.
Weird.
We're getting it fixed, guys. It's probably already fixed by the time you hear this.
Yeah.
But
so thanks for tuning in to today's episode. We appreciate you being here. Like, this is like a 10-minute intro.
Dude, it's fine. No, we're not. We're at 3 minutes.
Oh, really?
And half of it's going to be cut because Zach is going to edit it like a freaking boss.
Our tech guy.
Because our tech guy right there is
Zach wears many hats.
I wear glasses, bro. I'm the tech guy.
You are definitely like, you know how like every like superhero has like the guy in the van, like the guy who's like doing all the computer work.
Honestly, one of the best characters in most movies.
Yes, easy, because he's funny,
absolutely.
He's quirky, he's Zachary Staines.
But instead of him being in a van, he's on the opposite side of the globe.
Yeah. Or they do everything backwards. This prompt may or may not be from one of Tori and I's subscribers.
Oh,
I recognized her location and her
shout
name.
out, all right.
Oh, there we go.
So
that's not
Allison,
creepy at all. Thanks, Chad.
Well, she's actually a patron, so we actually talk. Whatever.
Gotcha.
So
okay,
this is Allison from Ontario, Canada.
So she pays you guys for premium content.
Thanks again for tuning in to today's episode. Subscribe.
I'm so sorry. Oh gosh.
Okay,
we have to get into this.
So, I am paraphrasing her topic, her prompt, and so she said this: "How to be better at decision making. I suck at it." That's paraphrased, of course. She didn't say that exactly. But Zach, how do you become better at decision making? I love how Gabe and I just made eye contact, and we were like, "I don't have anything to say. Say it to Zach."
I already gave my example at the beginning of the episode when I decided on the prompt.
You did.
Yeah, that's right. That's the only illustration you had. I don't know, man. I feel like I've always sucked at decision making because I feel like I've always tried to be a people pleaser with my decision making. It's like, well, what do you want to do? I'm pretty passive. I'm like, hey, what's for dinner? I don't know. What do you want to have for dinner? Like, it's a back and what do you want?
Dude, it's the Notebook.
That's my
what do you
reference.
want? It's not that simple.
What do you want?
What do you want? You know what I'm talking about? Have you seen the Notebook?
I have seen the Notebook.
Yeah.
Beautiful illustration.
But I think the only thing worse than making a bad decision is not making a decision. And so I think I really had to just like deal with the fact that I had to make uncomfortable decisions. I guess it depends. I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a decision example that I don't like. Food is a good one, legit. I can't make my mind up about what to eat ever. But yeah, I think for me, it's just about taking a shot at it. And if it doesn't work, you've got to just try a different decision next time. I don't know. Being okay to fail. Being okay to get the wrong decision.
I realized that like most of the time, probably like 99% of the decisions that you make, it doesn't matter what you choose. So just pick something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
If you're like trying to decide between an office chair, that could probably ruin your week making that decision. And you're like, you like them both clearly.
Yeah.
You can
Are you
decide
saying
it.
that from experience, bro?
Yes.
I don't know. I saw my office chair there, and I made the decision to use that as
you didn't
the
worry
example.
about it.
Oh, hey, nice.
But you know what I mean? Like it doesn't. I don't know. I'm trying to think of day-to-day decisions that I make all the time, like a YouTube thumbnail. You know what I mean? Like I scroll through the footage and I just start screenshotting stuff, and I'm like, okay, how can I make this decision quicker? And then I get Jess's opinions on it and stuff. But like, you just kind of have to like go through the options, narrow them down to the ones that are the best, and then you just pick one of those. And if, like you said, if it doesn't work, you really adjust for next time. But the negative
process of elimination.
Yeah, the negative repercussions of making that decision probably aren't going to be that bad. I feel like we need to pick very specific examples of like tough decisions to make.
Yeah. So you're saying we should make a decision on that?
Yeah, probably.
So, I mean, how about we talk about a little bit of like what to do with your time, right? And how to make a decision on what to do. And I'll just give you an example. In college, I read this book called Getting Things Done. And it's basically a way for you to help prioritize your tasks. The guy who wrote it doesn't believe in time management. He's like, you can't manage something that you don't control and that doesn't stop, but you can control your tasks. And so what happened is he had this little piece of paper. He always had it with him, and he would be updating it frequently as the day went on. And he had, this is going to sound funny. And like, I was going to say it naturally and just see if you guys reacted to it. But the way that Gabe is looking at me right now, I was like, he's definitely going to say a joke about it.
Okay.
But so the guy has 3 Ds and a trash can. So his lip is quivering right now.
It's a great start to every story.
It is. So 3 Ds in a trash can walking to a bar. No. So basically, the first D is do it. The second D is delegate it. The third D is defer it. And then there's a trash can. So whenever he's going throughout his day and someone offers him another task, he gets another email, he gets another phone call, or he has an interruption, whatever it is, if he can do it in under 15 minutes, he does it. If it's not for him to do, if it's not for him to do it, he defers it. If it's going to take longer for him to do it than 15 minutes, I said that backwards. If it's not for him to do it, he delegates it. Yeah. And if it's going to take longer than 15 minutes, he defers it. And if it's not for him at all, then he just throws it away. It goes in the trash. And that was a way for him to make good decisions. And so I think that as you're trying to be better at decision-making skills, you need to have a system. Like, okay, if you're deciding on a restaurant, you know what I do? Well, what have I eaten frequently? So I don't want to double down. If I just had a burger yesterday, I don't want today. So guess what? I'm not going to have a burger. So I start to do process of elimination, right? Am I feeling like pizza or am I feeling like pasta? That's going to get super heavy. I want to kiss my wife later. I'm going to be super garlicky. We're not going to feel like kissing later. So guess what? Pizza and pasta's out. Okay? Onions garlic out. And so I do process of elimination. That's how I start making decisions when it comes to things like that.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I think what you're talking about is like on a bigger scale too, when you're going through the three Ds in the garbage can. But it really makes you think like what you're making decisions on, like specifically talking about the garbage can. Should you even be contemplating making a decision on that thing? And that goes into like a whole bigger picture thing of you doing tasks that are actually beneficial to your life. And then I can go into the whole 80-20 rule if we want to go into that. But I don't know if that's good for decision making specifically.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll talk about it if you want me to. You guys really seem eager, so.
I do want you to.
Anyway, the 80-20 rule is a 20%. It's across the board in life, but 80% of the things that you do are only contribute to like 20% of what are the words I'm trying to use?
To give a simple example, they say that 20% of your profits are from 80% of your consumer base, but then 20% of your customers are responsible for 80% of your profits. And so there's this 80-20 rule.
Yeah. Or like 80% of the money you make comes from only 20% of the work that you do.
Yep.
And then the other 80% of the work that you do is only contributing to 20% of your profit.
Yeah.
And then you can do that across the board with like, it's a weird rule in life where it's like 80% of all the money in the country or in the world is owned by 20%. of the population, and then the rest of the 80% of the population only has the rest of the 20% of the money. But that's like across the board with like everything. There's like this weird 80-20 rule. So
people
you kind
spend like 80% of their time on 20% of their decisions.
Exactly. So bringing it back to decision making, it's kind of like, is this a task that what?
Sorry, you were smiling. I didn't know what you were going to say.
I was not smiling.
Yes, you were smiling. Go to the Zach. Rewind the camera. Take it back.
No, don't do it, tech guy.
I'm gonna
I don't even know what I was saying anymore, dude.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, you threw me off. Anyway, what was I? The decision making, and then the 20%. Yeah, like, is it actually 20% in the 20% that is like a beneficial decision that you should actually be contemplating and spending energy on?
Yeah.
The rest of the 80% of decisions that you're making are probably not even consequential. Kind of like a meal that you're gonna eat, or like, I don't know, what shoes to wear today, or what shirt am I gonna put on? Like, that's really not gonna affect your day at all, unless there's like a blizzard outside and you forget your jacket. You know what I mean?
No, I love what you're saying because there's times, let's just dab up real quick. There's times where, obviously, you know, my wife and I believe in being good stewards. We believe in being frugal, but she'll be debating between, like, she just bought a.
But you got cash from Allison, so blow it.
Love you, Allison. What if it's not actually her? Anyways. So there's a link in the description to our Patreon. You can go check that out. So Tori just bought a faux olive tree, a fake olive tree for our future home we're building, right? And it was a pretty penny,
bro.
But the thing is
Jess bought a real olive tree,
and it died,
and it's dead.
Yeah,
because olive trees are a pain in the butt. Side tangent. There's been a topic of conversation this past week. Anyway,
so basically, Tori was debating between this one from Target that's like decent, or this one from Etsy that's like, you know, the fake olive tree. But she spent like a week debating on it. And I'm like, babe, if you were to taken like 3 hours and worked instead of debated on that topic, you could have afforded the fake olive tree. So for me, I'm all about just like looking at my time right now. How much time am I spending debating on this topic?
Yes, that's
right. So specifically, if it's about spending money, you know, how much time am I spending to make this decision?
Sorry, excuse me.
You're fine. How much time am I spending making a decision? And could I use that time to actually make more money to get the thing that I actually really want?
That's right.
Right?
Dude. That's right. It's like, it's about the weight. It's the weight that you add to that decision, right? Because, and that's the thing I found myself having to do is like, how much weight does choosing what's for dinner actually have on my life? Or, hey, how much weight on choosing where we need to rent next? That's a bigger decision to make, right? Yeah. And so I think that's probably a really practical first thing to do is just give yourself a second and analyze the weight of that decision. Is it going to affect other people? Is it going to affect you? Is it going to affect people around you? Does it affect your habits? I think that's another one. Does this decision throw you out? For example, right now, I've been trying to get into running. And when I decide not to run, that's a way bigger impact than that. There's a lot of weight on that. So when I do decide to run, it's a really positive decision to make. And so just trying to analyze and try and put it into a camp. You know, is it in the positive camp, negative camp? And if you don't know, you'll find out pretty quick.
Oh my gosh, dude. That reminds me of that thing on Netflix from Marie Kondo. Like, she would like organize people's homes. And so if someone was deciding to keep a piece of clothing, she would grab it. And she said, you know, grab it. Does this bring you joy? If it doesn't, then you thank it for what it was to you and you toss it. Or of course you donate it, you do whatever. And if it does bring you joy, then you keep it. And so there's obviously a negative or positive feeling there. You just Marie Kondo'd your running relationship.
Wow.
Yeah. But then in all things, like I got an example of
the freaking
annoying decision making is, flippant Zach the tech running guy. Just like I'm evolving. My character's evolving on the podcast.
It is.
I used to just be the Australian. Now I'm the Australian tech guy.
And it's going to be CGI'd versions of him here where we're sitting.
I'm going to be the new Elon Musk robot. It'll just be like a Tesla robot just sitting here. Have you guys seen that?
I did peek at it.
Oh my gosh.
What?
Anyway.
What?
Yeah. We'll talk about it off camera.
Okay, Zach, you talk.
Oh
I'll
my
Google.
gosh. Anyway. So we just moved into the place we're living now. This is why the studio's looking fresh. And we had so many problems with like our, just put them on blast, with our real estate agent. And like our plumbing didn't work. We didn't have any access to internet. We couldn't pay for our rent. And the reason I bring all these things up is because Chelsea and I, my wife, had a lot of decisions to make around how we approach that. How do you approach conflicts? Do we try and be the nice people and be real understanding, or do we need to be kind of hard in our word because it's been 4 weeks and we still can't pay rent because they haven't given us details? That kind of stuff. When decision making stacks up, that's when it starts to really weigh down on you. And I think I wish, just looking back on that I spent more time just making deciding to call that person, call them straight away, rather than being like, oh, we'll just wait for the email to come through. And I just wanted to use that as an example of when you avoid decision making, that actually over a 4-week period, the workload becomes bigger and bigger and bigger and greater. So I don't know, if you've got a decision to make right now, to subscribe to Prompt Us, you should make that decision right now. Otherwise, that's gonna weigh
It's almost
heavy
like you may
if
have
you
a
don't do
decision to listen to these ads or not.
Well done, sir. Well done, sir.
Good decision on listening through the whole entire thing and not skipping through those. We appreciate it, guys.
So thanks for not fast forwarding through those ads. I love what you're saying though,
Yeah, I was going to
Zach.
say, back to what Zach was saying.
Yeah.
Good stuff. But Chad, you had something to say, so I'll not interrupt again.
Gabe is just here to party,
Gabe
bro.
delegating.
Yeah.
Gabe just
Dude,
delegated.
I drank some water before this.
If you're watching
Drank
on
my
YouTube,
Go Juice right now.
I wish people could see how comfortable you are right now.
Dude, I'm just chilling. All right.
You are straight chilling. Like I have a pillow in my lap.
Chilling
I'm
here
like,
in Cedar
Listen,
Rapids.
the boys are back,
The
and I'm
boys
just
are
ready to
back in
rock and
town.
roll.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
just happy to be here with you guys, just listening. You know.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm the audience.
You are.
You know.
You are.
I have
our
some things to
demographic.
add, but like most of the time, I'm just happy to be a part of it.
Just happy to be here.
Yeah, I feel that.
I'm like,
I think we
I
all
feel that.
feel that way. That's why we're all looking at each
I'm
other.
like the fifth guy in the boy band. You know.
No, that's definitely me. Like, no. I'm like the guy who
You're
sits
the
on the
Louis.
bench.
You're the Louis of One Direction, baby.
Yeah.
Yo, I love Louis.
So,
Don't throw
Louis
shade
is
at
the man.
Louis.
do you guys want to hear
I
one of
wasn't
the?
throwing shade. I was just saying how it was.
Just facts, dude.
It's just a fact. I'm sorry.
All right, go.
Do you guys want to hear genuinely one of the best ways to help you make a decision? I mean this 100%.
Go.
Let's go.
Is this going
I
to
don't
be
know if
like
there's
the
a
little
joke
intro to the
Or
podcast?
you're- I don't know if there's a joke or you're serious.
No, I'm being totally serious. So I would do this thing if I'm debating between one or two things. It could be maybe a few more than that, but keep it to one or two things,
Mhm.
right? If you pick one, so if you take a coin and you pick one as heads and one as tails, you flip the coin. Say it lands on tails. If you immediately regret that it landed on tails and fate chose tails, then you want heads. That's what you want is heads. But you make fate, quote unquote, make a decision for you. Then if you have peace in that moment, then you know that's the right thing. But if you immediately regret that, then you know you wanted the opposite. And I actually do that.
You carry
I
a
do that.
coin around and flip it.
Well, I'll like metaphorically do it. Like if I have a credit card or something, I'll flip whatever I have around me.
You psycho.
If I'm really, I love that Dave Ramsey just like turned off our
Welcome, mate.
podcast.
When I've got my Amex Platinum card with me, I just flip that, and then when the metal lands, that's
Can
the
I
decision.
roast Amex for a quick second or
Why? Sure.
no? Oh my gosh, dude.
Hey, you making a decision about credit cards? Here we go.
Amex just, they tried me the other day. I have this
Really?
card and I pay a lot of money a year to have it. You know what card it is, right? But whenever
It's
you're,
literally the one that he just said on the podcast.
you know what it is, Zach. I'm saying this card costs a lot to have per year, but there's a lot of benefits to it. You get a lot of money back on Uber. You get a lot of points for buying flights and you get access to airplane lounges. Okay.
So what happened, Chad?
Dude, I'm telling you, man, this woman tried me. I go to
What
Zach.
just
I don't
Zach
know if
almost
you're listening
died.
to the podcast. I just fell off my chair.
Is everything okay?
Oh my gosh.
What-
I'm okay.
what just
I'm
happened?
Okay. Sorry, Chad. I was so blown away by Chad's story that I just fell backwards.
I
Oh my
love that.
gosh.
So
I'm back.
I think that was a sign that we need to get back on topic. But I'll say this just super quick then.
Yeah.
I went to enter the lounge and I got off work early in Seattle and I didn't even know they had a lounge there. So I was excited just to go chill in there
Yeah,
before
yeah.
my flight because I had like 3 hours. I had 3 hours and 7 minutes. And there's a rule where you can't enter longer than 3 hours before. So there was people in there. Not that many people. So I go to check in and all that, and she's like, "Oh no, I can't let you in right now." I'm like, "Well, how come?" She's like, "Well, you can't come in 3 hours before." I'm like, "Well, I'm coming in as a guest with the other model that I'm here with because you can bring 2 guests."
Oh yeah.
And she's like, "Well, if you're not flying with him, I'm not going to let you in." I'm just like, "Well, you let the other guy in who just breezed by without looking at his boarding pass, and his flight was the same time as mine." And she was like, "I'm sorry, sir. I'm just not going to let you in." She's like, "You can go wait outside for 7 minutes." And there was 7 minutes before I could enter, and she made me wait outside. And I'm just like, "Are you serious right now?" So I'm probably going to end up canceling Amex because I don't fly that much anymore anyways. What's the point of having that card if you're not going to use it for the perks?
Dang.
And if I can't enter the lounges, so here we are. Anyways.
So in that moment, Chad.
Wow.
In that moment, Chad, what was the decision you made? How did you respond?
I walked outside and just waited. I called my wife. I was upset.
Dude, I mean, that was probably a good thing to do. You probably could have sat there and just dwelled in it, but you didn't. You called,
that's so funny.
Like you called Tori.
I feel like you're like such a loyalist on like certain things, like your card or whatever it is. And you're like, I'm gonna find another card and be loyal to that card.
Yeah.
I feel like I would have been like, oh, okay, that's the rules. Okay, all right, and I would have just like gone outside for 7 minutes.
Yeah. Well, if she would have been kind about it, if she would have been like,
if
hey,
she was,
sir,
was she acting like?
Oh,
crap?
she was 100% like power, and I think it's because she didn't like what I was wearing. I'm being totally serious. I didn't look like I necessarily belonged in there. Like people on airplanes, they don't really like joggers and stuff anymore.
Dude, that's happened to us before, where we had like the priority or it was like I forget what it was, like TSA pre-check because we have that, or like the priority lane or something like that, and we were walking up, and the lady at the security check was like, "Oh no, the main cabin's that way." And we were like, "Oh no, we have," and she was like, "No, but the main cabin's over there."
Yeah.
And like kept trying to get us over there, and we're like, "Dude, chill."
Yeah.
Like,
Cringe.
I know.
Cringe.
Yeah. It's happened to me a few times.
Yeah, it's weird. Anyway.
Bro, people need to make better decisions.
I know, right, man?
All right, so how about this one, boys?
At least those people were decisive with their decision making.
They were.
Their decisions were wrong, but they were decisive.
Yeah. So what about when it comes to deciding to date somebody? How do you make that decision?
That one's not a quick one.
He looked at the clock and was just like, "I don't got time.
Like, how much time we got left?"
I'm not that guy, man. I'm not that guy." Tori always says, if it's a maybe, it's a no. I like that.
Dude, I feel like the whole podcast is me just going, at what you guys are saying.
I wish we had a counter.
But it's so true though. You could say that about everything, but I think with people, the hard thing about people is that it's a long game, and when a decision is a long process, because we're talking about making quick decisions. Like, okay, I'm going to choose not to respond badly in this situation. I'm going to dip. Like, I'm going to choose food quickly. But I feel like something like relationships is a decision that gets made over time. How do you don't, well, some people would, but like you don't decide that day, like that's the person that I'm going to invest 150% into. So that's a hard one because I feel like it's lots of micro decisions.
Yeah,
it's
that's
a lot of little
interesting.
decisions and being intentional. Ooh, that's good. Be intentional about your decision. If you're gonna make it, go in. Don't just like.
Zach just wowed himself.
Dude, I'm like,
he did wow.
But I think I need to hear that. I need to hear that right now. I think the amount of times that I make a decision reluctantly, I think that's so much worse than making a bad decision.
Oh my gosh!
If you make a bad decision, own up to it and fix it. But if you go in reluctantly, you're gonna almost said the A word. Almost said
as
I never say that. That's so funny. But you're just gonna put
Australia's out there just
you're not gonna commit
crazy.
to it.
Dude, I love what you're
tech
saying.
Guy out here just
because I felt like two different things while you were saying that, and the first one is that in Scripture when it calls you to tithe or be generous, there's this verse I love. It's 2 Corinthians 9:7, and it says, "Every person must give what they have decided in their heart, not under compulsion or out of reluctancy, for God loves a cheerful giver."
Yeah.
What I love about that is wow, own it. Like walk in your decision. And it reminds me, the second thing that made me think of as you were talking, Zach, was there's this quote I love that sounds so vague, and I'm sorry. It's like something you'd see on one of those little things that people share, like a motivational post. But when you come to a fork in the road, take it. And the whole idea of it is that if whether you choose right or left, make it the right decision. Don't instantly look back and regret. And so as you're walking inside of that decision, make it the right one, because you either win or you learn. It's not win or lose. And I think that can be a great option, is where, okay, when you're making a decision, cut off the idea of like, oh, this is a bad decision. Like, this is a good one, this is a bad one. Now, of course, like, there's certain things that are bad decisions.
Yeah,
right?
but I also think from what was it? You win or you learn?
Yeah, you win or you learn.
You win or you learn. It goes into, and then, rewind back to what you were saying about like giving and God loves a cheerful giver. Dave Ramsey actually talks about, I think it was Dave Ramsey that I heard this from, that it was
Papa
Ramsey, just out here.
Papa Ramsey.
Just the godfather of the podcast.
Yeah.
Daddy Ramsey.
Oh my gosh. All right. What was I talking about?
You're talking about Dave Ramsey.
Yeah. So it was like, God wants us to tithe, giving 10%, because it trains us, because we practice giving, and it becomes less painful for us the more we do it. Why are you laughing, Chad? I literally finally have something decent to say on this podcast, and he's out here roasting me.
The reason why is because I'm trying not to laugh. We keep
making at what, dude?
We keep making eye contact, and then you do a little smirk, and it makes me.
What smirk?
Dude, rewind the camera, Zach. Rewind
what
it.
What flipping smirk? Oh my
Bro,
gosh.
I can't. It's a podcast.
So all I'm saying is this, that.
What you're saying, I was the one talking.
Dude, I looked away. Okay? And then I was trying not to laugh. And then when you try not to laugh and it makes you laugh harder,
yeah,
that's what happened.
It was like when my dad would give Claudio and I spankings together.
Yes.
And he'd be giving us a speech, and one of us would like laugh, and we'd both start laughing. It was
the worst.
And then our spanking would be worse.
So for me, I was trying to hold it in, which made me want to laugh even more. So I apologize.
Cool. Can I finish?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, guys.
The views instantly went up.
Get a flippin' wife who makes you cookies.
I'm so jealous.
Zach, I wish we could ship one of these to you.
He needs some milk.
Oh.
I don't think there's any. I think I had the rest of my coffee.
Live on the podcast. This is one of the most
Y'all
beautiful.
look super cozy.
Look at you guys.
Oh, here, do you want to come pop a squat real quick, and Jess will go over there and we'll do.
Yeah.
Hey, we were just talking about getting better thumbnails. Stay tuned, because here's an ad. Now, Zach, just hold your arm out.
Dude, get Chelsea.
Go get Chelsea. Go get Chelsea.
She's at work.
I was about to say she probably left for work.
Get Scout.
Already.
Get Scout.
Get Scout.
Scout's sleeping. There's no way I'm waking her up, man.
Well,
there's a.
I don't want to interrupt, but hi.
Well, thanks for showing up.
Oh my gosh! Literally, I finally had one good thing to say on this podcast. Chad started laughing at me.
I didn't mean to. I tried not to laugh. Wait, that's awesome.
This is the most out of control podcast we've ever done.
I'm here for it.
Legit. I'm not even mad about it.
Most people's like out of control podcast is because they're like drinking on it. We're literally eating chocolate chip cookies.
High in life.
The last thing I'm going to say. I need to remember. Because I have no idea. Oh yeah, it was practicing your giving. And it's kind of like in the same way you want to practice your decision making.
Yeah.
So you get better at making the right decisions more often, making quicker decisions more often, and when I say making the right decision more often, I mean, what the frick, bro? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
I'm trying not to laugh, and you keep looking at me.
Because you're my co-host, dude. And you're the only one in person.
Did you see me looking around to grab something?
No, I was concentrated on what I was saying. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, guys, you get what I'm saying, all right? Practice decision making more often, and you'll get better at making decisions. I'm done. Zach, do you want to go?
Yes, that's it.
He doesn't laugh at you.
Yeah, bro.
Chad doesn't laugh at the tech guy.
Let me try.
I'm pissed.
There's too much delay for me to laugh.
No. I'm gonna keep cutting you off. I'm so mad.
Yeah. Sweet. No, there's a great quote. We talked about this book before, Essentialism. There's a great quote. Is that remember that if you don't prioritize your life, someone else will. And I think that's where decision making. Why are you laughing at me, Chad? I'm just trying to add to the podcast. Are you kidding me?
Oh, I bit my lips.
Dude, I'm trying so hard not to laugh. I'm so sorry.
This Come on, girl.
Y'all
Just
keep
write
going.
it off.
You're literally 5 years old, dude.
What do you mean
Oh my
keep going
gosh.
for a second? That was all I had to say, and you just ruined it. My point is, if you're not going to make decisions, life will, someone else will. And so owning that decision, I think, is just so important. Hey.
I agree, dude. What you said was great. But I had Chad over here like
Thanks, bro.
freaking doing squats in the corner to try and.
I genuinely was not trying to interrupt you both. I'm like, I got the giggles. You guys ever get the giggles?
Yeah.
I mean, dead serious.
Sometimes.
I love it when you guys talk because sometimes I feel like I talk too much. But then I was thinking about laughing and I was trying to think about not laughing and then I lost it. I feel terrible. I genuinely feel bad. You said something so impactful, Zach, that was like, you either make a decision or the decision gets made for you. And that like impacted me. I was like, oh my gosh, how much of life have I just let life happen to me? Because something that Tori and I have been talking a lot about is not being a reaction.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm more than that. If we believe in God, then we believe in intelligent design, which means that we believe that we were put here on purpose for a purpose, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not just this whatever creation, a floating set of molecules that responds to whatever's happening around me. I'm more than that.
Mm-hmm.
I have control over my feelings. I have control over my emotions. I have control over myself. And I want to live inside of that. And so whenever I am going to make decisions, I want to like put my feelings here, put the wisdom I have here, and make an educated, emotionally intelligent. Zach, what was the thing you'd always say? Emotional IQ? What was it?
Equity.
Emotional equity.
Yeah.
Equity.
I want to make an emotional, equitable decision that's going to bring health to my life, but I'm not going to let this decision control me, because if you let a decision become an idol, then you're like living, your hope is on your decision-making skills, which is not. Your hope is on the Lord, your God. And so we need to make sure that we don't put decision-making and the difficulty around it on this pedestal to where we think that decision is always life or death. Now, of course, I'm generalizing here. I know that people do have tough decisions to make. I mean, they absolutely do.
Yeah.
Some people, it's like, okay, well, which school, or how am I gonna go off and like leave my family to go work here, or am I gonna stay here and take care of my family? Like, some decisions are really, really difficult.
Well, here's one, for example, that Jess and I recently, like, we're looking at, at rental properties and what we're going to be investing in. And that's a big money decision. You know what I mean? Like, that's not something that we have to do flippantly, but it got to a point where we would look at so many of these properties that would come on the market, and it took us.
I'm like looking away. I promise you.
Oh my gosh, Zach.
As soon as
I'm
Gabe
addressing-
gets in the flow,
Literally, I can't say a word.
talk to me, Gabe. Talk to me, Gabe.
All right. It's me and the tech guy. Dude, I can't. As soon as he said tech guy, I just had to keep saying it. It's too good.
Can't
Okay.
unsee it.
Anyway,
So you've been making these big decisions about investment.
well,
Which is a big
trying
decision.
to, and we go see a house, and we have to sit there. And the thing is, the market is what it is right now. That we sit there and we're like, oh my gosh, we need to look at go see the property, and then make the decision that day on if we want to put an offer on it or not. And it has to be a quick thing, but it's like taking if we don't make the decision, it's going to happen for us. So if we go and we like the property, but we don't end up making the decision on if we want to make an offer or not, it's gone the next day. You know what I mean? So it's that same mentality of like, when you find the one, even though it's a big decision, if it all lines up, has the right amount of rooms, what we're looking for in an investment property, it's within the budget, we can afford whatever, and it checks all the boxes, we just need to make the decision on if we want it or if we don't. You know what I mean? And if we do, we need to decide that day, and it needs to be quick, but it's a decision of a bunch of micro decisions that built up to that big decision that you may need to make in not in an instant, but within a few hour period,
It's like you have the system built to help you make a good decision, all those little micro decisions in there.
Mm-hmm.
So then you can make the emotional decision, like, because you're weighing all the pros and cons, which, I mean, also a pros and cons list is a great way to make decisions.
Yeah, true.
It's like very simple. It feels very like approachable. Is this going to add to my life, or is this going to take away from my life? By the way, whenever you edit that, I really don't want my laugh. Like, you know what I mean?
No. It's going to be funny.
I was trying so hard.
Dude, it's really funny.
I just feel really rude. You know what I mean?
No, dude, you're fine.
So,
You're fine.
But don't
Another thing that Tori and I do that we practice is we don't make decisions out of desperation. We because that's one thing that most people make their worst decisions out of desperation, right? And so for us, I've mentioned this probably 1,000 times, so I'm sorry if this is a broken record, but say if there's a brand deal that comes our way and it's like, it's not really a fair number to what we're looking for, we ask ourselves, if we had an extra 100,000 in the bank right now, would we accept this deal? The answer is always no. And so we make sure that we're not making decisions out of desperation because we're walking in confidence, because scripture says, what is it? It's like 1 Timothy 1:7 or 2 Timothy 1:7. It's one of those. I don't know. But it says, for God has not given you the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of sound mind. And so I don't want to make decisions out of fear. I want to make decisions out of power and out of love and out of sound mind. And so if I'm ever in a crunch where I need to make a decision, like if an agent asks me to do something I don't feel comfortable doing, but there's a lot of money on the table, well, I'm making a decision out of fear. And that's not what God's called me to do, because he does not work in the spirit of fear, but in the spirit of power, love, and sound mind.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this episode of Prompt Us. And remember, you can follow us at Prompt Us Podcast on Instagram. That's our handle, at Prompt Us Podcast. And that is where you can submit prompts that will be topics that we discuss in future episodes. Appreciate you guys tons, and we'll talk again in the next one.